The Illovo Eston Mountain Bike Challenge is always a favourite on the mountain biking calendar for the pros and social riders alike. Traditionally it's a very fast course, lots of cane roads, very quick. So yeah, with the likes of Philip Bass, James Reed and Alan Hathley around, I suspect the racing is going to be very fierce out there today.
The type of course, the way it's laid out, is very conducive to suit the cross-country boys. It's a longer race that we tend to do better at, so the prize money attracts us, and we just get that little bit more stimulation than the shorter races.
I do find this race unique just because I've been racing in the Cape for the last 8 years, so obviously in winter it's raining in the Cape and dry here, so I'd love to be back racing in the Till.
I think it's the highlight of the mountain biking season. It's a third time back here. People come from all over the countryside. Fantastic single track, fantastic layout. Looking forward to it.
I think Eston's, such a popular race amongst the top athletes because it's quite a nice distance. It's 60 k's. It gets to test the legs a bit, and it's beautiful surroundings. It's a nice atmosphere, a nice venue. It's just a nice place to come ride.
For us, it's just about getting together, doing a bit of training, doing some exercise, and just trying to keep fit and trying to de-stress. So yeah, this is what we do in our spare time.
We've had a couple of wet Estons back in the past where bikes get clogged up with mud, so it's nice to have some sun shining today. And with a bit of rain that they had a few weeks ago, the single track's really hard compact. It settled all the dust, so it's just going to make the racing even quicker out there today.
Access to the batch pounds for the start of the 60 kilometers.
So the Illovo Eston MTB Classic always tracks a quality field with guys like Philip Bass from the Scott Project or Brendan Davids or Alan Hathley from Cargo. It is always going to be fast and furious.
With Alan and James going to the Olympics, I think it's going to make it a very tight race today. The guys obviously want to prove themselves. Philip Bass is also here, a former Olympian. But I think, the way Eston ends, it's always going to be a tight race between everyone. So, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I feel like everyone was strong, and on a course like this, there's not really much to separate the guys.
Eston's start is always crazy hard with the King of the Mountain hard spot 3 k's in.
Philip surged early on. He is incredible over that short distance, and he managed to sprint away for the King of the Mountains.
Yeah, the short distance, 60 k's is ideal for me, when focusing on cross-country racing, and there's a lot of fun trails, and it just keeps the racing exciting.
We forced a split of 5 riders with Stuart Murray, Brendan Davids, Alan Hathley, Philip Bass and myself. We were moving really fast, and it's great to have the sensations when you're racing with, you know, some of your friends and competitors. So everyone was trading punches, but nothing was sticking at all. Some of the single track in this place is absolutely incredible. I mean, you think every year they can't do better, and then they do. It really is a game changer, and it's incredible to see the amount of work they've put into the trails. You'd think out here in the sugarcane and the rolling hills there isn't much besides, you know, cane farm roads.
The racing here is generally very, very tight. The last 3 years that I've done it, it's ended in a sprint finish, and I think it's mainly due to the fact that the climbing is done fairly early on, so if a gap is established, a lot of guys tend to bridge themselves back up in the latter part of the race.
This was my first 40k race that I ever did, was the Eston, and it was awesome. I just remember thinking afterwards, I did it and I didn't take too long, and I love I like to do this every year now just because it was my first one.
We must be riding with about 12 guys that we ride with all the time, so yeah, it's always good fun to dice each other a little bit and just enjoy it.
Just enjoy being out here, yeah, not only about the race, we're not racing snakes, we're just here for the fun of it.
Well, it's a family event, and we normally come, you know, our husbands are the avid riders, and we just come with the family and do the fun 20Ks.
He's done a couple of 10Ks, and this is his first 18K ride.
Certainly one of the most popular sectors of the race, the 18K through Tola. It's a wonderful family ride where we have youngsters that are gung-ho and really go hell for leather, and it's a great way to spend 2-3 hours in the game reserve.
We are from Eston Primary School. I'm the coach at the school of all these wonderful children here. We decided this year that we would like to enter a cycle team into the race. Being the coach, I said to them, well, I have to actually come race with you guys because I'm forever giving them fitness on the field. So this is one way of boosting the fitness, and we hope that we can grow some provincial cyclists from this as well.
Our husbands are keen riders now, so the kids also wanted to join in, and since we're very protective mums, we also have to come and support the kids and the sons and the husbands as well.
Brendan Davids, and I live in Pietermaritzburg. Yeah, well, I mean, I actually came from a swimming background. Throughout high school I was a swimmer, and really hating the life of swimming training in the morning and like after school, and being in the pool was just not for me. And I went to a triathlon, hated the run, hated the swim, and the mountain bike was like, oh man, this is awesome. And I mean, I've never really looked back since then. I mean, I live, Cascades is just over my shoulder. Yeah, it's a really cool place to live, and I don't think I'd have it any other way. Yeah, look, I mean, I got back from Europe a week ago. Obviously, the traveling takes quite a lot out of you. Maybe have 1 or 2 days slightly easier going into the week just so I have some fresh legs, because I know the guys are going to be strong coming in. James and Alan fly to Rio on the following weekend, so yeah, look, it's going to be a fast race, but yeah, I'm looking for a good showing. Yes, last year was a bit of a hairy, scary one for me, unfortunately. Yeah, I was out with mechanicals early on in the race last year. Managed to make the select group over just before the 40-60 split. Went into Isingisi in the lead, and unfortunately I punctured on the way down and lost a lot of time, and then tried to chase back. And at Eston, if you're not in a group, it's almost impossible to catch back up. And yeah, hugely disappointing last year. So coming into this year, I'm super motivated, and yeah, like I said, I'm pretty hungry to go one better than second. And last year kind of left me hungry for more, having not finished on the podium. So yeah, I'm really motivated going into this one. James is tactically a very smart rider. We've raced on the same team previously. We've raced a lot of stage races together. So we kind of know how to read one another very well. So it tends to play out the same way. And yeah, Eston, like I said, it's very hard to kind of plan the finish too. You need to kind of be in the right position at the right time coming onto the field. And it's all about positioning towards the end if you want to win. And James, being the smart rider that he is, I know he's probably going to be the man to beat on the day. He's won it. I think he's won it now twice. So it's definitely going to be. He's going to be the man to watch. So yeah, we've got to just pick his brain and follow his wheel. To come into Eston with a set plan is never, it's not particularly easy. I think you've just got to be prepared to suffer and follow the right moves when they come. When we dropped into Isingisi, I was actually on the front of the bunch just because I knew that single track was coming up from previous years. We actually entered it from a different angle this year. That's where I actually put in the decisive move that split the group into, or just split it into 4 riders instead of the 5 of us.
It stuck together until Stuart Murray was dislodged about 25 kilometers in.
And pretty much that was the race. The 4 of us rode together, attacking each other, obviously trying to find weaknesses through the course. But yeah, we always come here. I mean, it's like a cross-country race, but essentially, which is, for me, it's a perfect build-up for Rio.
This race is always going to come to a sprint with the nature of the track that it is. So if it was a bit longer, maybe 8 kilometers, I think you'd get something different. That being said, it does create a different element of racing.
It's the sort of race that it's extremely difficult to get away if there's not someone going with you. And yeah, when it's one guy by himself against 3 other guys that are all on par fitness-wise and speed-wise, it's very difficult to get a gap.
The hardest part of the race was the last 20 Ks, which is the flat roads here now in towards the finish. I managed to get a break with about 10 Ks to go. I attacked over the hill and got about a 15-second gap. I thought it was going to last, but the guys worked together and pulled it back in.
Once we brought Alan back, I found myself on the front coming into the sprint, and that's probably the worst place to go. And
you know, we don't often have sprint finishes in mountain biking, so it's always exciting to come to the line.
It is a sprint finish come through to the second. It is going to be Team Spurs, James Reed, who takes first place. In second place, it looked as though Brendan Davids pipped Alan Hathley at the last minute.
Obviously, me and James, we've both done a big week of racing, so I think we both knew we were sort of maybe not 100% fresh, so that was definitely in the back of the mind, trying to play out who's going to be the strongest towards the end. Yeah, but I mean, Brendan's just come from a Europe trip in Spain, so he was also, you know, good form. Philip Bass obviously also was in contention for selection, so he's also on really good form. So it was cat and mouse. No one really wanted to show their true form. Like, everyone was sort of trying to like suss each other out, but yeah, no, everyone's really good at the moment, and it was a really hard race. I mean, the time was faster than last year, which just shows how fast it actually was.
James got the jump, and I almost didn't hook onto Alan, but somehow I managed to dig deep enough to come around him at the finish. So yeah, I think the only thing I changed for next year is to make sure I'm not on the front coming into the sprint.
I wouldn't say there's much to separate me and the other 3 guys that I finished with. I think we were all much of a muchness, but on a track like this, it is good to be validated by guys like that. I mean, Alan is going quite well. Brendan Davids as well. He's been over in Europe, living in Spain, and he seems to have come back and found his legs, and he was very strong today. So, yeah, it is a confidence booster to win. But that being said, it is a sprint finish, and there's still a few last-minute bits of work to do before the actual event.
With the Olympic announcement, I'm sort of just hovering around. So next year, I'll definitely focus a bit better. And with the level of racing, if we 4 or 5 guys, strong guys racing against each other, it lifts the standard in South Africa and the quality of racing and of riders. So it's always a good thing to have a lot of fast guys, and it makes for intense racing.
Loved the track. Great mixture of Jeep track, open roads and single track, which was really well built, and it was just got me on such a high the last single track that the last 20 Ks I was just like, okay, let's focus, get to the finish, and managed to keep a lead from the start. So wasn't too sure where the other ladies were, so I just had to focus and pretty much focus on time trialing and just thinking about catching the A batch guys, and it worked out well.
Illovo Sugar has a philosophy of contributing to the communities in which we operate, and the whole community here is quite amazing how they sort of pull together. This race is really run by the farmers and the country club. As a sponsor, it's so nice to get involved in the community and see how everybody pulls together, and I must really thank the farmers. They give up their resources, their time. So between the race committee and the farmers, they do a fantastic job and really make this race what it is today.
How's the race going?
It's going good, just dealing with the snot and tron on the 20k.
We're involved with Tyler because they are a key player within the Eston community, and it's an important community to Illovo, and it's our way of helping and giving back to this community.
The community here is great. They really get into it wholeheartedly, and many of them are riders, so they know exactly what the guys want.
It's lovely to see the farmer support amongst the mountain bike riders. Yeah.
Beautiful scenery, nice track, nice people. We do it because it's fun, yeah.
Great ride, good weather.
I just enjoy being out in the bush and getting to ride places you don't normally get to ride. I mean, you go on the trails, it's a lot of fun, but yeah, it's in a game reserve. Not often you get a chance to do that, so yeah, have a bit of fun.
A lot of people from outside the province come and do this event. I feel great about it. I think it's good for the local community. I know a lot of people in the area. I know quite a few of the farmers. They've given me a lot of advice about the event. Yeah, that's why I'm here, to give it a bit of a go and see what happens in the end.
This was my first race when I was 11 years old, and yeah, it was really great to be able to win it. Last time I rode it, I got 13th last, and in the thick mud in 2009, and yeah, it feels amazing to be able to win the race that I started on.
There's a lot of people here, there's a wonderful atmosphere, it's marvellous, the organisation is great.
You know, as a sponsor, I think it's important to experience what you're sponsoring. Thoroughly enjoyed my run. Not as fit as I should be, but hopefully this can kickstart an exercise routine to get rid of the wobbly bits. But yeah, fantastic race, loved it, very social out there, and we had a lot of fun.
Hey, awesome, man. It's always good every year. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
We always meet people on these rides and make new friends, and you'll see them again and again and again. And yeah, so it was awesome. It was well organised and scenic, and also yeah, the hills were quite difficult, but it was lovely.